What's going on, everyone? Let's take a look at the overall markets. We're going to be taking a look at the indexes right now. I have the SPY pulled up pretty much flat on the day. Kind of a tricky market today. So we pulled back a little bit. I was trying to figure out where's the rotation going? Where's the money going? A lot of money was going into banks, really holding nosed up today. And a lot of the shit stocks in the IWM, some of the smaller names, were holding up and green, right? So I'm not saying that they were great. We do have some Dow stocks like Caterpillar, Boeing, Walmart, right? So if we take a look at Walmart really quickly, flat on the day, but look at how they've been holding up Walmart. Walmart actually looks really good tomorrow over 151. If we look at something like Boeing, right, it's up almost 1% on the day, came down, tested the 5-day moving average, kind of just sitting right here in a range, does have room up to 217. Take a look at something like Caterpillar, up $6 on the day here, really getting stuffed at the supply zone at the 200 EMA as well as the 150 simple. So definitely look for Boeing or Caterpillar tomorrow over 222. But let's look at the SPY, right? Look at the SPY, look at the little hammer candle that we have forming up here, came down, tested the 5-day moving average. We have room up to 413. So 413 is going to test these recent highs here on the 4th. It's also going to test this linear regression at 412.60, 412.80. Anything over that has room to 415. Now, I still think that there's a lot of big money shorts that are still trapped. I still think that we are looking to squeeze at least one more time. So for all of you bears who are looking to kind of time the top here, look at the weekly time frame. If we can start to take out this 412, definitely have room to around 418, 420. Anything over 420 would definitely start the next leg up higher to 436. That's the area that I want to look at, is at 418, 420 on this first run. So if we do push up into the 420, that could be where you're going to want to put on some put positions, some short positions to kind of fade this overall move. Now, mind you, we have CPI data tomorrow. Anything can happen. The market is all over the place, very, very disconnected. So again, if you're having a little bit of a tougher time there, definitely kind of, size down a little bit, right? You don't want to get caught with your pants around your ankles. But again, overall price action on the SPYs is bullish. Okay, how can you say that it's not when we're over every single level of supply? The next area of supply is coming in at 413. So I think that we at least test between now, after hours, and pre-market, depending on the CPI numbers, that we at least test 412, 413 before any type of significant kind of pullback. And when I say significant pullback, I'm talking about a pullback back into 406, 402. As long as we're trading over those levels, 413 looks like it's going to be the next stop. Now, if the market wants to explode, okay, tomorrow off the numbers, and we close over 413, we've got a lot of room higher. That's all you need to kind of know on that. If we look at the Qs, having a little bit more of a tougher time today, still trying to break green. We did come down here, lose the 10-day moving average. We do have a declining 5-day moving average, resting as well. Now, our level on the short position on the Qs is going to be below 315.35. Definitely has room down to 312 and then 311. But again, overall in bullish context, do not get too excited thinking that the market's going to roll over. So kind of calm down. There's nothing really going on to the short side other than scalps until we lose 303. Now, if we do start to kind of get tighter here and we can take out 319 on the Qs, we could be coming back up to test 321. Any close over 321 could send us to 324. And I think if we do get up to that level, that's where you're going to want to start some of these shorter positions. Now, what we need to look at is the IWM. They've been holding this up all day. Look at the IWM, a little bit of a gapping go here over its demand zones, the 5, 10, and 20-day moving average. We've got room into 178.20. Next stop could look at 179. So again, if you are long, hold into 178, 179, take those profits off the table. Again, you're up about a percentage point on the day. If we take a look at the Dow futures today, our green, and look at what the Dow is doing now, breaking out of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-day holding pattern here, kind of bull flagging for 6 days. Now we're kind of breaking out, and if we look at the Dow to the left of the chart, we don't get into some of these highs until these January highs here. A lot of choppiness action, a lot of resistance, a lot of area that we're going to need to be concerned about at around 34,240. That would be the level I would look to see. Maybe we push into that area before we take a little bit of a back test. If you want to look at the macro overview picture, we got room into 3,500. Now, not saying that we're going to get there, just kind of letting you know what's going on the chart. Let me take off all of these old drawings here. If we look at the weekly time frame on the Dow, breaking out here over last week's highs. So over last week's highs, we're looking at around 33885. Over that area has room to push into 34,764. That would be where I would say that some of these, slower mover names could be pushing into before we have a little bit of a downturn. Again, definitely, the Dow only 30 stocks. Look for them to kind of lead the way. Technology has been holding us up. Technology has been making the pushes higher. But if we do see a little bit of a rotation from technology into some of the small cap names, into some of the Dow names, those have been some of the weaker names. So if you kind of look at the weekly chart here on the Dow, we're coming off of 3-4 consecutive green weeks here, but kind of coming off of this floor, versus if you look at the NASDAQ futures, which is technology, look at the NASDAQ futures here, have been essentially pushing up since January. So they've been on a tremendous run here. If you actually look at the weekly chart, pull it up on your screen, we're still over all of the supply zones here. The 5-day moving average on the weekly time frame kind of came down, tested it for the second time in a row. This is your level. You want to know when it's time to short? Your time to short is when we lose this week's and last week's lows below 12,950. Below 12,950 definitely has room down to 12,600. So there's about 300 points worth of downside there. So if they do rug pull us tomorrow off the numbers, or anytime this week for somebody speaking, talking about something, just kind of keep that in mind, that you've got 200 to 300 points to play with to the downside here into that next level of support. And even that does not signify that we're going lower. The NASDAQ would have to lose 12,000 before, we even think about, testing October lows. If we do continue to push higher this week over the 13.2 range, we definitely have room to come to 13,348. So again, kind of giving you guys an overview look at what the indexes are doing, so you guys can kind of gauge and see, where you can kind of pick your spots at. Again, right now, smaller size, scalp, take your moves, stay with the stocks that they are buying. If you do not like to short, or you do not like to trade a range, go with the names that are breaking out of the range. So some of the names in the SPY, some of the names in the Russell 2000, which is the small caps, kind of look to those sectors if you're looking to trade long. If you're looking to trade short, then you can definitely find some value in some of the technology names, even though like something like Nvda, still very strong action. I would say Nvda is not a short until we lose 360, 350. Even with that, has room down to 247. But if you kind of are looking for those short positions and you want to take some of these bigger movers, look at what Nvda did off the bell. Came all the way down into its lower supports here right after we lost its pre-market lows of 275, initially pushed to 274, and then came down to 272, and then ultimately hit those lows of 271. So this was a fantastic trade here. As soon as we got below the 20-period moving average, we kind of never looked back. Now we are starting to push up again. I don't really see a short position on Nvda until we lose 271. Below 271 has room to 268. That's going to be your play there. Again, long, unless you kind of bought it off the bottom here and you're some kind of fortune teller, and you knew that we were going to exactly bounce here. Again, if you kind of follow my strategy, you would know that we did have some support here. But let's say you do not follow my strategy, or follow my kind of supply and demand kind of way of trading, then if you're not in it long, definitely kind of wait. We need to get over 275 before you can kind of put on that long position. That'll be a sneaky position there, over 275 into 278, and then anything over 278 into 280, 281. So just kind of hang tight there. If you are coming in off today's low, today's floor, well, then definitely take some profits into the 274, 275, because that is going to be your next supply zone. So again, if you are long Nvidia, make sure you guys are taking some profits off. Don't just be an idiot and think that we're going to come all the way back up to 280. It's when you start to think that, oh, just because there's a little bit of an intraday reversal, we're going to come all the way back up, is when you get slammed, because they can completely sell this off the last hour to 2 hours of the market. Numbers come out tomorrow a little bit hotter than expected, and then we start to lose that 271, and next thing you know, we're trading at 268, and you're completely ass backwards and trapped. If you guys want to learn how to trade, if you guys want to join the community, if you guys want to trade live with me, you guys want to get access to the study guides and to the overall strategy training, go to evolutiontraders.com, become a lifetime member. I'll see you guys on the inside. Make sure to leave me a thumbs up, a comment, a like, do something to help the channel out, and I will see you guys all later.